This video is proudly sponsored by Gamersgate. Download games anytime, anywhere. Visit Gamersgate.com.
Welcome to Elder Geeks, Elder Speak. My name is Randy Asenchak, the owner and editor of elder-geek.com. With me today is Phil Summers from Schmoozle.com. Today is Friday, October 4th, 2013, and today we're going to be talking about GTA Online. And Phil, what was the event that you went to today?
I went to a little Nintendo show. I went to their little bus trip that they do.
Like Nintendo Bus World Tour.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So what they do is, from what I understand, I don't know if this is yearly, like around this time of year, but yeah, they get this little, it's basically a trailer, and it's got Mario and Luigi all over it, and then they cart the trailer all around, and you get to play some games when you go in the trailer. That's
kind of awesome. All right, well, before we dig into that, I need to explain the video footage you're going to be seeing on the left-hand side of the screen is going to be GTA Online. I would love to show some of the stuff that Phil saw, or at least have video from what Phil was there, but you know, Nintendo and YouTube don't mix well together. So it's going to be all GTA Online. Phil, do you have any photos that you took?
No, I don't. I wasn't even sure if I could. Okay. I mean, I guess I could have, but it would have been like, it was a very personal thing, like event. It was literally like me and the employees, and it would have been kind of weird if I like whipped out the camera and just started taking pictures of, you know what I mean? And I started taking pictures of this trailer.
You don't mind if I take some photos of your work, do you?
Yeah, so I don't. It may have been a little weird. It was already a little weird.
Tell me about the. I'll put it in a time code for people to jump to either one of these conversations. By the way, and below.
This is where everybody's like, boop, GTA.
Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll do GTA later on, and I'll try to throw up like a little link. If you only want to hear GTA Online stuff, you could skip to that. But if you just want to listen to Nintendo stuff, you could just tune in right now. So Phil, tell me about Nintendo stuff. All about it, start to finish.
All about it. So I got to play with the 2DS. I guess that was like the big draw there. So
how was it?
2DS is cool. But I mean, it's not made like for us. You know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean?
It's like it's obviously it's for children. And
okay.
And they understand that. And the guy even kind of like said it to me when he handed it to me. Like, you know, this is our, basically it's their budget model, and they're not like shying away from it. And they're not trying to tell people like you and me to buy this thing. Like,
right.
We're not the audience. But it's pretty cool. Like, so if no one is familiar with 2DS, it is the 3DS. They cut the 3D out, and they also cut out the clamshell design, so it's like one solid block. It almost looks like a tablet. And then it technically only has one giant screen, but the bezel marks off the two screens.
Really?
Yeah, so it's one giant screen.
Huh.
Yeah, but no one would really know that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, so that's why it doesn't have a clamshell design, because that's how they're saving their money by just putting in one screen as opposed to, I think there's more than two screens in the 3D one because it has to have the other screen to do the 3D. So
I don't know.
I don't know how it works. I think there's three. I think the screens slide. That's how it does the 3D one. So they literally cut out two screens. They're just doing one giant screen.
Okay.
Yeah. So
what's the asking price on a 2DS?
I believe, off the top of my head, $129, which is pretty good.
Dude, that is good.
Yeah. I mean, the idea is that they just want, like, it's coming out the day the new Pokemon's coming out, so the idea is a bunch of kids will want Pokemon, and this is a good way for them to get Pokemon and a 3DS for pretty cheap.
I know that you say that it's not marketed for people like us, but I got to admit, like, if I want to play Nintendo 3DS games, and I really don't see a need for me to buy a 3DS in the future, but because I don't travel a lot. I
might have one. I might have one coming up for you.
Oh, really? But my point is, like, if I was going to buy one, I would probably go with the cheap model, one that, you know, had, like, nice big screens that was just kind of one big thing that I wouldn't have to worry about folding, opening, and closing. Just as kind of like a kicking around the house / bathroom gaming unit.
Yeah, I mean, it has its advantages and its disadvantages to having the one big screen. So, this one big piece. So, you know, with this regular 3DS, I kind of like to adjust the angles of the screens and stuff like that. So this, you kind of just, you don't have that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's this big thing. The other thing I don't like is, now the D-pad feels better because of the placement. On the current 3DS, the D-pad's very low on the thing, so your hands are kind of in this weird I'm trying to get like my fingers up here as if it helps. But your hands are kind of in this weird position, so the D-pad is very uncomfortable to use. So this one, the D-pad feels good, but it's still kind of low, and because it's just one big solid block, your finger, it's kind of hard to get to that trigger. I have pretty long fingers, hands, and I was having kind of a hard time like using that D-pad and hitting that top trigger because, and so I imagine like a child is not going to be able to use the D-pad and hit the trigger.
Yeah. Just for everybody's reference, Phil's a pretty tall dude.
Yeah, I mean,
fairly tall. You're like 6 feet tall, right?
Like 6. Yeah, I mean, you're about the same, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we're not short. We're not like little people. You can't really tell based on the camera, you know.
We are not subhumans, no.
Oh, jeez.
I'm not kidding.
Unsub.
I'm joking. No, I mean I would say we're slightly above average height. Yeah, so for that to kind of be a problem for me, I thought was kind of like, oh, that's not good. But after I dicked around with the 2DS, he hands me the new Zelda game on the DS XL. I think that's what it's called, the 3DS huge, whatever the heck it's called. I forget. Yeah. I don't have that one. I've only seen it like once briefly.
Yeah.
So going from the 2DS to the gigantic DS.
Was this A Link to the Past again, or whatever it's called?
Yeah, A Link Between Worlds.
A Link Between Worlds, yeah.
Yeah. So he hands me the giant 3DS, and you just said that you would want to buy the cheap one. I think, Randy, you always even say you're like, you're the graphics whore now. You know what I mean? And it's not a graphics thing. It's not like the graphics look better.
Right.
But, it's the difference. It's like, here's the Fisher-Price toy, here's the big boy toy. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
So that's how it felt. And it's funny because I was kind of like sold on the XL, even though that's not what he was trying to sell me on. You know what I mean? Like, I was, this is cool. Like I really like this. So yeah, I played the new Zelda, which I am a very huge Zelda fan, and I was not really like too stoked for this one. And I love A Link to the Past a lot, but to me it kind of is just, I don't really know how to describe it. Like when you look at New Super Mario Brothers and everybody's like, oh, they're so sterile and they're so like, it's boring. Like I felt like Zelda was getting, and I like New Super Mario Brothers, but I felt like they were giving Zelda like a similar treatment with this. Like it kind of seems like new Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's actually really cool. It's fun. So I mean, it's basically A Link to the Past, from what I can tell. So I ran through most of the first dungeon. I think it's the first dungeon, whatever it is, and it's like really fast, which I thought was surprising. So it's like 60 frames per second. Link runs like really quickly, and it almost feels like kind of arcadey.
Okay.
Which is cool. It just has like it just feels like it has a nice pace to it. And yeah, I mean, it's a Link to the Past, like assets and, well, not the same assets, but like everything you recognize, like the little gopher things that you hit with the hammer and that kind of stuff. And then like the new like gimmick, I guess, is that Link can turn into like a 2D picture, and he flattens onto the wall, and you can navigate hallways and stuff on the wall.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so it's pretty cool. So there's all sorts of little puzzles for that, and that was a lot of fun. I really liked Zelda. Like I went from not really wanting Zelda to being like, okay, I probably will buy this when it comes out, which leads to another problem because I think it comes out the same day as Super Mario 3D World.
Oh.
Yeah, so then he moved me on to the Wii U. And I was not, this is another one, I was not really too excited about Mario 3D World. I think everybody was kind of underwhelmed when they showed that the new Wii Mario is basically this 3DS game that came out 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But then this trailer came out. There was like a Nintendo Direct a couple days ago. This trailer came out. The trailer looked really good, looked awesome. Everybody got kind of pumped for it. And now like I played the game myself, and I'm into it, and I'm on board, and I want it.
Dude, that's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, and I don't want to. I just went through the whole Zelda thing. I'm not gonna spout, go through this whole thing, but it's kind of like Mario 3D Land if you ever played that, which Randy you didn't. So it's kind of like a combination between 2D Mario and 3D Mario. So it kind of plays like a 3D Mario, where you can go wherever you want. They have instead of full analog control, there's actually like a run button. So it's merging like the ideas of 2D and 3D Mario together.
Yeah.
The stages even end with like the flagpole drops and stuff like that. And And it's cool. It's like 4-player. It's taking ideas from Super Mario Brothers 2. It's got Princess in there. You can be Peach, and she floats like in Super Mario Brothers 2.
Oh, cool.
You know, Luigi has like the weird jump. Toad's fast, just like the old one. So it was a lot of fun. I played that 3-player, and we had a blast. It was a real good time.
That's pretty. All right, tell me about the whole like. Now, when we got the email, they were like, "Hey, come in and check out the bus," and we're like, "It's a bus." But the bus is parked at the Philadelphia International Airport. So like, where was the bus?
Yeah, so that was the weird part. I should have went into this first. I think this is the more interesting part. So yeah, the bus was at this hotel near the airport.
Okay.
And the Philly airport, when you go back in this area, it's kind of a strange area. It's very like open and almost like you're in the boonies, even though you're like right outside Philly, which is weird.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's just this hotel out there, and it's kind of surrounded by nothing almost.
I think I know which one you're talking about. It's at the end of their parking. It's like at the end of their long-term parking lot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
I can't think of the name of it off my head, but. So it was like the first thing I saw when I got to this hotel. Like you just see the Nintendo. I mean, you can't not see the giant Mario on this bus. It's big white trailer. So I pull into the parking lot and I'm like, well, what do I do? Like, do I go over to the trailer? Is someone in the trailer? Like I didn't know what to do. So like an idiot, I call Randy. I'm like, Randy, what would you do? Would you just go to the trailer, or like would you
put your face in the window of the trailer?
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, well, I had a scheduled time. I was supposed to be there at 11 o'clock. So I was there at 11. And then, I walked up to the trailer, and I guess they were looking through the windows. I couldn't see them. And then as I approached, they let me into the trailer, and then it was just like these two dudes, these two Nintendo employees, and I wasn't expecting it to be like a one-on-one thing. You know what I mean? Like I was expecting other people to be in there playing games, but it was like this personalized experience. It was kind of strange.
That's gotta be an odd gig. Like, not gonna lie, that's gonna be a strange gig. Like driving around in the Nintendo bus, like showing off your wares. Like, I'm assuming their next stop after this was probably like Baltimore or DC or New York. One of those.
I think Baltimore. You're right.
Yeah. Okay. So it's right down the road. But the point is, like, they're driving around in this stupid bus, and then they probably spend the night in the city. They probably don't know anybody locally. Maybe, who knows? And then.
Oh yeah, it seems like they just kind of hang out.
Yeah. That's gotta be weird, man.
Yeah. And I asked them. I was just like, you guys at least party in this thing at night? And they were just kind of like, they just kind of like dodged the question. Rightfully so, I guess.
Yeah. Hey, baby,
some...
want to come on in and hang out with me and Mario?
Yeah, I got some unreleased games in here.
Yeah, right? Dude, that's kind of cool.
I mean, the guy was cool. The main employee guy doing the whole thing was, he's been at Nintendo for quite a few years now. He's based out of Seattle, so he's it's I don't know. So he knew his stuff. He was cool. He was a nice guy.
So it sounds like going into this, you were a little bit jaded about upcoming Nintendo wares, and now you're coming out feeling a little promised once again.
I'm feeling a little good. Yeah, I mean the problem is that even though this stuff's cool, like I want Nintendo to do well. And like I'm going to buy this stuff, but I still don't think it's enough for them.
I got you.
I think like, not having Mario Kart this year is huge. I mean, that's like almost suicide. They just delayed Donkey Kong. I don't know what kind of a difference Donkey Kong would have made, but it did really well on Wii. So I think having that and Mario, maybe that was too much. I think that was a deliberate delay. I think it's ready. I think they did that on purpose.
Yeah. Mario Kart's big for them. Mario Kart's bigger for them than I think most people realize.
Oh,
because,
yeah.
That's like family game. That's not just hey, I'm gonna play this game and it's single player and it's great. Like Mario Kart equals living room fun for everybody involved, and it's safe for everybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Mario Kart Wii just exploded. I mean Mario Kart was always big, but that thing, like that Wii Fit and Wii Fit basically, and kind of Smash Brothers, they all kind of came out around like the same like 2-month span.
Yep.
And they were early in the year that year, and they carried that system for a whole year basically because there wasn't, and they were huge. And I guess they're kind of hoping that it happens again. I don't know if it will, but yeah, Mario Kart's super important, and not having Mario and Mario Kart together really kind of sucks. Like for this holiday.
Yeah. Ooh.
But
Mario Kart's especially a good holiday title, but
yeah, and they're banking on Wii Fit a lot, and again, that was another one that I really actually do like Wii Fit. I have the first two of them, but I had zero interest in this new one. I was just like, I don't care. Why do I care? Like, that ship has sailed. You know what I mean? Like, it's just the gaming exercise craze is over.
Yeah,
kind of like
it went out with like Rock Band and stuff.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. It basically went with all those things, all kind of went together, and that's it. I do think so. I got to actually play a little bit of Wii Fit. I made a fool of myself, by the way. He has me try this luge game. So he's like, you got to sit on the board, you got to like rock all the way back, and I'm like, I don't really want to do this. Like, it's just me and this guy, and I'm laying on the ground doing a fake luge. So it was like
in a strange bus.
Yeah, in a strange bus. And the one guy left, so it was just me and him, and I'm just thinking, please don't open the door while I'm doing this luge, because if the door opened, everybody just sees the man doing the luge. You know what I mean? Like, I did not want him to open the door. So thankfully, he did not open the door when I was doing this thing. And so I was doing the luge, and like, it's hard. It's like my abs are freaking out, and it goes on for like 2 minutes, and I'm out of shape, and I'm like shaking. I'm trying to do this stupid thing, and my abs are giving out. Everything's giving out, and I'm trying so hard. I actually feel a little bit of pain still from this.
That's a good sign, though.
Well, it's sort of a good sign. I'm so out of shape that doing 2-minute luge game on Wii Fit it hurt my abs for the rest of the day. 10 hours later. So I did do it, and he said I did a great job. But even he was laughing at me. But it was just like, it was slightly humiliating. I was like, I don't really want to do this, but I did it by myself in the Nintendo bus. Yeah. And then the only other game I played after that was I did play Donkey Kong briefly, which that's the one I'm most pumped for. But that was the one like I was the least excited about, if that makes sense. But probably because like I knew exactly what to expect from Donkey Kong, so when I finally played it, I was just like, okay, this is, I want this, but I'm not like floored by it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas the other ones, I had pretty low expectations, so that when I turned out to really like them, I was more excited about them.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. How long were you out there in the bus?
About an hour.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad. I mean, that's some pretty good, like, if you were at E3 to get, like, an hour's time of, like, personal time at a booth would be pretty killer.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's nice, man.
Yeah, and that guy actually does all the E3s. He was just like, dude, if you come out to E3, look for me. But I doubt he'll remember me. He probably sees a million people.
Yeah.
Maybe he will remember me because I did such a great job on the luge, so I don't...
It's funny, I when I was at E3 and I was at the Nintendo booth playing Bayonetta, I can't remember who was because at every booth they had somebody, like, walking you through the stuff. Can't remember what his name was, but he was pretty high up in the company, like surprisingly high up in the company. And when he told me who he was and what he was doing, I was like, "What are you doing on the floor?" And he goes, "We're a little short-handed."
Wow.
And apparently, like that was pretty common for them there at the show floor. They wanted to have like real warm bodies out there interacting with the people.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, overall, like I walked out of there, like I had a good time, and everything they showed me, I want to buy. I want to buy all those things. I don't know if I will, but
yeah.
Well, probably, maybe, I don't know.
But so Nintendo fans should be kind of excited then for upcoming Nintendo stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Nintendo fans right now should be super stoked about life. I mean, they have Zelda came out today, Wind Waker came out today retail. It's been out for 2 weeks. Download. I think Pokemon comes out next week. I don't care about Pokemon, but Pokemon comes out next week, so that's huge. And like it just keeps rolling from there. And there is like now through December, lots of really cool stuff for Nintendo fans. Those guys already know what they're buying. And I don't really know as far as like mass market, as far as competing with PS4 and 360, I don't really know if they have what it takes. I don't think they have. There's still not that Wii Sports. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Ugh, you almost wonder if they'll launch another console again in 5 years.
Yeah.
Or something in 5 years to be like, oh, well, look, your old outdated hardware console is outdated. Now all you have to do is the Nintendo Magic Wand. And
I give this thing a 4-year span. So it's already gone. It's already gone its first year. Yeah. And I think you're going to get I mean, this is basically what happened with GameCube. This is worse than GameCube. Because GameCube at least had people making games for it, even though no one was buying it.
Right. Because man, they had like X-Wing, they had the Resident Evil 0, they had a ton of cool shit.
Oh yeah, and they had like games that you would have expected to come out on it were coming out on it, at least for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the EA stuff. I mean, there's no EA. Like, how is there not EA stuff? Like on GAF today, there was a thread. The new FIFA came out for PS2 this year, but is not out on Wii U. I mean, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So they have nothing. So I think what's going to happen is Nintendo's going to have 2 years, starting 2014, 2 years where they get out as much shit as they possibly can by themselves, which won't be that much, you know what I mean? It'll probably be like maybe a good game every 2 months, maybe.
Yeah.
And then this is all predictions.
Right.
That final 4th year is going to be a barren, dry wasteland, maybe like one amazing game that year. And that will be it, and Wii U will be dead. Because I don't think it's coming back. I think it's it. It had its chance, and it is kaput.
And it missed the mark, man.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it'll make a comeback, maybe. Really, I know everybody says this, but they really do need to have like that good Zelda game. Zelda is one of their big system movers, Yeah. And Wind Waker, though is awesome, is not going to be enough for people to go out and buy a new system for it.
Oh no, no, I don't think so. I mean, I have seen like on Twitter and stuff. I've seen a lot of people like, oh, I got my Wind Waker bundle. Like they they bought it. So there are people, but they were probably the Zelda fan that's just been sitting on the fence. About for the last year or whatever, but as far as like getting a lot of people in there, I agree. I don't think so. Japan sales, they're updated weekly, so you always get like instant sales data.
Yeah.
Wind Waker came out last week, and the thing completely bombed, totally tanked. I think it did like under 30,000 copies.
Whoa.
And that's it, and it's done. And it didn't lift Wii U sales at all. Wii U was still at like 5,000 sales for the week, which 3DS had like 120 sales for the week, 120,000 sales for the week. So it was a total bomb. It didn't do anything. And Pikmin had a bit of a lift, but over there. But Zelda's not. They're treating it like it's a new Zelda. They're treating it like that we should. Like this is the next thing, but
it's not.
It's not, and people are seeing through that. Really,
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that are like, I don't want to spend $50 on an HD remake, when most other HD remakes are usually, I mean,
most of them are like 40, maybe 35 or something like that. At
yeah,
launch.
or 20 maybe if it's like a download. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, most of them are usually they're literally just straight up ports, and they literally are just like upscaling all the assets. This is a complete remake, so I understand it, but it's still like, I understand why people don't see that kind of difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the other thing, not encouraging people to do this or anything like that, but emulating, the old Wind Waker is still an option for a lot of people. And they can upscale it to 1080p, and they were able to upscale it to 1080p for like years now. So even though Wind Waker is a great game, I feel like a lot of its fans might not need to scratch that itch,
Yeah. Although I want to go out there and get it. I didn't think I wanted to, but now that it's here,
Now you kind of want it.
I'm kind of jonesing a little bit.
Maybe Santa will be nice to you this Christmas.
Maybe Santa will be nice to me like tomorrow.
Because it's been a long week, damn it.
It has. It's a tough week. My plan was like, I even said it to the guy in the I was like, my plan is to leave here and go buy Zelda.
I'm surprised he wasn't like, here you go, have one,
That would have been amazing. Yeah. Here you go. He pulls it out of the little game drawer. Yeah, that would have been awesome. But, no, yeah, so I did not get it, but that was the plan.
I got to admit, man, like there's a lot of games that I would love to review Wii U stuff, but I can't do anything with it. Like if I do a Wii U review, it turns into a written review, gets thrown up on the site, and nobody reads it. Like,
right.
And I can't put it up on YouTube because, well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, So, oh well.
Yeah, I know, it's a bummer. There's like No Nintendo coverage here. No, I understand though. No, you know.
I got to admit, when I started doing the site, I thought to myself, I'm gonna run this gaming site. This was like a long time ago. I was like, I better get, like, at the time I had a PlayStation 3. I was like, I better get the other two so I don't seem like some kind of, jerkbag. And I
So you didn't have a Wii right away? You weren't like one of those like
no, I wasn't. Wow. Because man, it was when that sucker first launched, it was almost impossible to get a Wii for like months and months.
Yeah.
People were selling them on eBay for exorbitant prices, and there were like whispers and rumors of which stores were going to get it on Tuesday and how many they were going to get, and I just didn't feel like dealing with that crap. So I waited a long time,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't have the competitive nature anymore to
to go out there. Yeah. I know. I said I wouldn't do that ever again either, and I did it with the Wii U last year, but it was so much easier compared to the Wii. Yeah, when the Wii came out, a bunch of buddies and I went to I remember I was out shopping and I went by the Toys R Us that I had planned to go to the next day, and I was like, I wonder if anyone's in line. I said it to my wife, and there were actually people in line like the day before, early in the morning, and I was like, maybe I need to be out here. Maybe I actually really need to camp out. So like I showed up at 3:00, got in line 3:00 in the afternoon. They had like a midnight launch, so I waited from 3 to midnight. But
it's not terrible.
It's not terrible, but there were a ton of people. They turned away so many people. They had 200 Wiis to sell that night. They kept turning down people as they were rolling up. I went to get a Wii U, just kind of put it into perspective.
Yeah.
The morning it came out, Toys R Us didn't do a midnight thing. I went to the same one. I went the morning it came out, maybe 45 minutes before the store opened.
Okay.
I was like the 6th person in line, and maybe like 5 other people show up behind me, and they had 20 Wii U's. So, I mean, like, it was just the difference. Like, it's just crazy,
Yeah. Ugh.
And I wonder, a lot of people are saying this is just a Nintendo problem, but I actually wonder if this is going to be a everybody problem.
I kind of wonder that myself, man. Like, we'll see when in a couple of weeks when the PS4 launches, like how readily available it's going to be. Apparently, Sony's really doing their best to try to crank out as many as they possibly can.
Yeah.
But again, I pre-ordered mine through Amazon. If I didn't do that, I don't think I would fight and wait for one. To be honest with you.
But I even just wonder if the demand will be there for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I hear you. I don't know.
Like, do people care? Like, I wonder if people really care outside of people like us. You know what I mean? Like, they're expensive, and a lot of the games, GTA 5, which you're going to talk about soon, pretty big game, and
it's not on there.
It's not exactly. It's not on, and you can't play it on there. You know what I mean? Like, you can't just like put the disc in there, and you can play your old game on your new one.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's one of the big things that I dislike about GTA 5. It's like, really, you're gonna make me keep my console out for a little bit longer, because I was hoping to retire it after this holiday season. I was hoping to put it up in the closet and store it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you, COD will do like gangbusters again on 360 and PlayStation, because people want to play Call of Duty together,
right?
And there's only going to be a handful of pretty hardcore guys and like groups of buddies that are going to step up and upgrade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To play basically the same game on a new system.
Yeah.
Until they're forced to. Until maybe like a year from now, where that's the only version you can get of Call of Duty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It'll be interesting if they push that a year or two. I'm thinking.
Right.
Yeah. Do you have anything else you want to talk about Nintendo, or should we change gears into GTA?
No, let's do GTA. Yeah, I know nothing of GTA, so I'll try and question you a little bit here as you talk about GTA Online. I didn't even know. I guess online was not out of the box thing. I guess that everybody had to wait for that.
Yeah, you had to wait until I think October 1st was the first day that they officially launched it. It comes with everybody who have purchased GTA 5.
Right.
And the way it works out is you create your own character, and that character exists in the same world that the characters are in GTA 5. So all the streets are the same, all the buildings are the same. You actually do some missions with or for the people from the main storyline. So there's a lot of kind of back and forth kind of going on.
Now, those missions, are they kind of like tying into parts of the main story, or are they just kind of made up things?
Not yet. They're kind of some of them do a little bit. You're like doing missions, and some of the missions that I'm doing are for like side characters even, and they don't have any impact on the story. And I think there's a golden opportunity missed here. In GTA 5, you do these massive heists, like you plan a bank heist or something like that, and when you do it, you plan like how you're going to execute it, and you hire certain guys that you want to be on your team, and depending on how talented these people are that you hire, like you could either lose a ton of money or make a ton of money, or they could die along the way or anything along those lines. I think they missed a huge opportunity in that they should make it so that your GTA Online character could be one of the people that you could hire for the heists. I think that would make it like a full circle kind of batch of awesomeness.
Yeah.
But they kind of missed that, and it stinks. Right off the bat, when you create a character, I gotta say this: it is the worst character creator of all time.
I heard you can only make ugly people.
The people are the ugliest people, and you come from like the ugliest stock of ugly people. So like you don't pick what you look like based on like hair and then nose or anything like that. It's you pick what your grandparents look like, and then because of that, like that's how your mother and your father look, and then you pick a slider as to how much more you want to look like your mom or your dad.
You're making like a family tree.
Yeah, it's kind of unnecessary.
That's a bit much.
It is. It's really unnecessary. And then the pictures of like your grandparents are like teeny tiny, and you're like, what does grandma even look like? I don't even know what I'm selecting here. It looks like somebody took a magic marker on a potato. They're bad. They're really bad. But
oh boy,
the game itself is really good.
Cool.
And I didn't give it this award because I didn't know how good or bad GTA Online was going to be, but when I do the video review for GTA Online, the whole GTA 5 package is going to get an Elder's Choice Award.
So you're actually giving Online a totally separate review. Are other people doing that? Is that like a common thing?
I think so. And you know what's funny is I threw away my little notes from Rockstar. Like one of the first things on that Rockstar, when they send out the game, it says GTA Online comes with every copy of GTA 5. It is a separate game from GTA 5. So technically it counts as a separate game. I don't know if it had to go up for like a whole separate ESRB rating or anything along those lines.
Did you have to download it, or is it on the disc?
It's on the disc.
Okay.
It's on the disc. Now, part of me kind of wishes that...
Well, I guess that makes sense because it's just using all the information or whatever that's on.
Yeah.
All right.
Since it's a separate game and you buy it with GTA 5 and you buy it with it, kind of wish that they would sell GTA Online as a downloadable only thing in its own, so people could play it for like maybe $20 or something like that on PlayStation Network or Xbox Live Arcade. That way, if people are like, I have no interest in single player stuff, then they could just get GTA Online.
Yeah.
And then you could definitely say they are two separate entities, but it's kind of a nebulous.
So them combined makes the Elder's Choice Award.
Yeah. Cool. It is pretty cool. Like, I don't know if you've ever done... I don't think you've ever done a GTA game before.
I have never played... Well, I've played very briefly, but I've never, like, sat down by myself and, like, experienced a full GTA. Like, I've always played around with a couple of buddies for, like, a half hour, 45 minutes. That was about it, yeah.
I think GTA 5 is a good entry point for a lot of people, and it clearly is being a good entry point for a lot of people into the GTA series. It's very accessible. There's a ton of things for people to do. So the way it works out is you're on this gigantic map with a huge city in the south and a country in the north. And throughout the entire city are these different nodes that you can activate to start up missions. So you could start up a mission to go parachuting with everybody in the group with you, or you could like do street racing, or you can do like a death match, or the game will actually launch pretty decent sized cooperative scenarios for you. So you'll like have to go all together and then hijack a bunch of cars and then get them back to the base before the cops actually catch you. And then like, so you could have two people driving cars and then two people like shooting down cops like that, or trying to divert the cops from the people who are trying to escape with the real cars. So there's a lot of really fun, unique gameplay elements that no other game has done before because of this, you know?
Cool.
And it's all in this big open world. It's a ton of fun. And there's even, for lack of a better word, like kart racing. So there are like races that you can do where you'll pick up power-ups and you can shoot at each other like with big insane rockets. And I mean, it goes totally crazy too. You could there was a mission that I was playing for a while where people are in like attack jets and you have to shoot down people in like dirt bikes as you're trying to race from one end of the map to the next. So like the people in the dirt bikes have to avoid missiles being shot at them while the people in the jets have to like worry about not crashing their jets and like actually getting accurate shots off. So there's a ton of really cool stuff that you can do in it.
No, I know it has like tons of mini games and stuff too, like the main game, like the golf and stuff. Now, can you play like that kind of stuff with people as well online?
Yeah, you can do the golf, you can do tennis.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can do darts and arm wrestling and stuff. So
there's like there is a ton of shit to do.
There is a ton of stuff to do, and if it wasn't GTA, I would say it'd be a really good party family game, but but it can't be a family game, but it is definitely a good party game. Now the downside is not the game, it's the people. Like there is something ingrained in the common gamer's mindset that they think to themselves, I am in this open world environment, I have a gun, I gotta kill whoever comes in front of me. Here I've got access to doing tons of other things, cliff jumping and, you know, robbing stores, and we could be chasing each other in fighter jets, but no, I'm just gonna shoot you as I see you on the street. As though deathmatch hasn't been done in every single video game ever.
They don't care. They gotta shoot people.
It's like, get over it, you know?
They can't get over it. It's like this simple thing. So they love it.
I mean, there was one time I was like, it's kind of, if you die, you'll lose the money that you're carrying. So to save your money, you need to bank it. So you can go to an ATM, or you can put the money in through an ATM, or you can like use your phone and upload it from your phone, like the funds that you're carrying, and it goes into a safe bank account. I just to show you the level of assholery of people, I was like typing in my phone to like upload it, and I got hit by a car. And so I like close out the browser as quickly as I could, and I see the guy like turning around in the street, and I'm like, really? There's a dude standing on the sidewalk, and you're just like, there's another player, I'm just gonna run him over. So I jumped up on a wall, and as he came by me, I just like mowed him down, and that was that. But it was still like, well, you know, must have taken a lot of skill to hit me with your car, but you couldn't kill me while doing it.
The best part is like when he hit you, he was probably laughing his ass off, and then when you got him, he got mad.
Probably
just like real life.
Bitch. Yeah,
just like real life.
I mean, here's another scenario of assholery. I was actually in getting a freaking haircut, and 4 dudes come into the store and just start shooting my guy while I'm getting like you can see his face, and there's just like bullets going into me, and I'm like, you're invincible while you're getting your haircut. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm just going to let this sit here and wait till these idiots leave.
I love that you were getting a haircut.
Yeah, I was getting a haircut. But I mean, otherwise, I think there's ghosts in here or some shit. I hear my son's toys going off. But I mean, otherwise, it's a ton of fun. It is really cool when people actually get together and do the cooperative missions together. It's a ton of fun when like you get a group of 8 people doing the races. The missions and the side missions are a ton of fun, and there's a lot of potential to be had. Like, I'm not complaining about people shooting you on the streets. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for it to evolve a little bit further when there's going to be, like, gang wars, where because you can start your own crew, and you can start, like feuds amongst crews. So it'd be kind of neat and really interesting to be, like, one team hating on the other, and then every time you see each other, you get into a kind of instant gun battle. That seems kind of neat, you know?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So I think it's got a lot to go. I still have to try a lot. There's like, I still only have 1 car. I don't have a garage yet. I don't have an apartment yet, and apparently these are all kind of big elements in the game, so I can't give my final say in it yet. But so far, I'm really liking it. Super, super ugly character system. Super stupid character creation system. But once you're actually in the game and once you actually have it functioning, it works really well.
Cool.
And,
go ahead. I heard the first night had some really bad. You couldn't get on it, right?
I couldn't get on for like 2 or 3 days.
Oh my god. I
mean, at all. Like, just not going in at all.
And that was like a widespread.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, there's still some issues, but they're slowly hammering them out.
Well, it's cool that it turned out good and fun and worth it.
Yeah, I would say I mean, if it was a standalone product, I wouldn't pay $60 for it, but I could definitely see dropping $30 or $40 for GTA Online, especially since there's no recurring fee or anything like that. It's a ton of fun.
Cool.
It's a ton of fun. So that's that. If anybody is interested, we actually started a GTA crew, Elder Geek crew today. So there's a couple of people in there. If you guys would like to hop in, it's for the PlayStation 3. I'll drop in a link below in the comments. But that's all I've got. Phil, you have anything else going?
No, nothing.
All right, cool. Well, then that's it for us tonight. Hopefully the video review for GTA Online will be up early next week or sometime in the middle of next week.
Cool.
That's it. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, bye. All right.
Stop and broadcast.